So there goes the majority of the costs. So they could potentially undercut Uber. I know there's that partnership, but it kind of I kind of shrug my shoulders there, which is like everyone talks about Uber having a distribution advantage, right? Everyone's already got the Uber app, and I think it's hundreds of millions of riders every quarter. But no one has a better digital distribution advantage than Google. They have, what is it, 7 different properties with more than 1 billion users. I think they're going to be just fine rolling something out on their own, and they have all the different platforms to cross promote. So I do think the risk from Waymo is real. With that said, I think the margins will continue to improve at Uber, and I think they've done a good job of kind of becoming more efficient, although it was from quite a low base because they were like the poster child for egregious compensation and just like egregious expenses in terms of like the Silicon Valley darling. So yeah, I like the economics, but it's hard to kind of, I guess, quantify that risk of Waymo.
Yeah, I think with Uber, it is interesting because I don't think there would be much debate among like any investors that over the next 3 years, the numbers are going to look great. But I think where the debate lies and where I put it almost in the too hard pile at this point, unless we really get the valuation, maybe I'm being too greedy with the valuation. I don't know. Is that I'm just when there is a risk of technological innovation like disrupting your business, that's where I just get uncertain and I get worried that, okay, well, look, am I confident that Uber's business is not going to get disrupted over the next 3 to 5 years? Sure, somewhat, but do I know whether there's going to be some genius team that really takes the next step in self-driving cars, and is that going to occur? I also don't know. So that the uncertainty, maybe there's an opportunity with the stock. And I do think I would have high conviction that the numbers are going to look good over the next 3 years, but I would just worry that if Waymo's growth rate continues, the stock's going to struggle just because that narrative is going to overwhelm increasingly as it has for Lyft with Uber eventually. But my gut says the stock works from here. If you had to force me to put on either side, like in reality, I have it just on the watch list, but forced to bet, I'd probably own it.
Yeah, me and Fiscal are pretty ignorant to the Waymo threat. I mean, we definitely know we're alerted. I think Robotaxi.
They're in 2 cities. They're coming for us any day now.
Yeah. No, we're
going to zero, man.
Yeah,
Straight
absolutely. Something interesting though that Aria brought up was like how Uber has the advantage, like no matter the economic condition, like Uber somehow is going to benefit. It's just a really interesting flow cycle. Like, when people need more money, they're going to become an Uber driver. And then there's just a constant cycle, no matter the economic condition, where Uber benefits, which I think is really appealing as an investor.
Yeah. And if Uber, I understand that for sure. Like if Uber, like if the cost of a ride is a little cheaper, well, they're still just having the take rate there. That's not going to affect them too much. Like the driver's going to earn a bit less. They'll earn a little bit less, but they still have that take rate. It's a take rate business. Yeah. They don't own these cars, at least for the most part, I think. But I will have one correction on the Waymos. I think they're going to be in maybe 7 or 8 cities soon, and they're growing, I think, 10x year over year on ridership. So if that continues over the next few years, it's going to put a dent in some of these cities in the United States. And San Francisco already has 20 to 25% Waymo ridership. And if my worry is that gets replicated into other cities, and I just want to wait and see what happens there.
Man, Lyft would get smoked. That's
right now. Yeah, Lyft has been the bigger like market share loser to these Waymos, but Uber's lost a little bit.
Yeah,
in San Francisco.
They just can't catch a break.